Let's talk a little bit about Zeke Elliott and where he might end up coming out of free agency. But before we get into that, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel and to catch more videos just like this one. All right, Kyle, let's get into it about Zeke. Does he end up back with the Cowboys?
I think he does, actually. There was a report that came out a day or two ago saying there was mutual interest. It makes sense. I mean, Dowdle has a very similar skill set to what Tony Pollard had. Deuce Vaughn is a small gadget guy. Malik Davis is worthless, honestly. Pure backup.
Yeah.
It's not a great draft class for running backs either, so I think Zeke showed enough at the end of last year with the Patriots that he showed he still got a little bit left in the tank. I don't know what was happening the last 2 years he was with Dallas. He was starting to show some decline and losing touches to Tony Pollard, but last year he showed he can still carry a workload. Maybe, I don't know if that translates to a full season of workload or not. I mean, I guess we might find out, but I think it makes sense for him and for the Cowboys to reunite.
To me, the world just feels a little backwards not having Zeke on it, and Zeke on the Cowboys. So maybe if they bring him back, everything will just be right again, you know? So maybe if they can make things right here and make it work, I'm excited for Zeke to get back with the Cowboys, I think. Like you said, it just kind of makes sense. They need a strong running back like this with the other guys they have on the roster. And Zeke proved at the end of last year that he still had some gas left in the tank. He just needs a workload. And anytime you look at his stats through the past few seasons, anytime he got a decent workload, he actually put up really good fantasy numbers. And I was just looking back here at some of his numbers, and back in 2022 with Dallas, he only had 23 targets. And that'll drop a player's fantasy production pretty significantly. When the year before that, he had 65. The year before that, 71, 71, 95. Like, those are big target counts. He dropped all the way to 23. And then again with New England, he popped all the way back up to 65. So fantasy production is there, right? So if they bring him back, do you think they throw to him and give him that production there? Because that seems to be where he thrives in fantasy, those fantasy points. Or do you think he drops back down into those 20s again?
I think fantasy production wise, he probably falls back into those 20 to 30 range because, like I said a second ago, Rico Dowdle has very good receiving pedigree too. He looks pretty good catching the ball. And a lot before he went to New England with Dallas, it wasn't just that his fantasy production was down. Like, he looked like he was running in mud just watching him. So I don't know what rejuvenated him in New England, if something was in the water up there or something. The fountain of youth is in New England or
Championship pedigree, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, they've got the fountain of youth in Foxborough. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it is something else that's surprising to me is the fact that he hasn't been signed by somebody else already. I mean, CEH got a new contract before he got signed somewhere. It's kind of shocking to me. I mean, he's one of the most reliable running backs in the league over the last 4 or 5 years. He's only missed like 7 games since 2019, and a couple of those were Week 18 rest weeks. Like, this guy's as reliable as they come. Yeah, I was a proponent when we let him walk of letting him go. Not because I don't love Zeke. One, like I was saying a second ago, he wasn't passing the eye test anymore. But two, he was so expensive.
Yep.
So expensive for a running back. And so, but now we can get him back cheaper. He seems rejuvenated. Man, I think Dallas has to re-sign him.
Yeah, I think if the price is right, then you need to. I agree. The number was too big. They were having to pay him too much, right? And now you can get him back on a discounted number, leave some of that money for Dak, because apparently he's going to need a big number to stay. I don't know. But maybe this also helps Dak because those guys were close friends. Mm-hmm. And so this could help Dak a little bit mentally probably too. Speaking of mentally, Zeke used to have kind of a fumbling problem. He was known for that kind of early in his career. But in the last 3 years, he's only had 3 fumbles, and
Yeah,
that's good. So he's gotten that fixed. And yeah, I think if the price is right, the reunion would be fantastic.
I think it's a match made in Dallas.
Which is as close to heaven as you'll get.
Precisely.